Hello guys, this is Deep Narayan Singh. I am ready with one another video on binary file handling, and Happy New Year to all. May this new year bring you lot of prosperity and knowledge to all of you. So guys, in this video we are going to discuss questions that are being asked through binary file handling in our CBSE board exam question paper for 12th class computer science, and this question is asked for 5 marks. Okay, and in our sample question paper they have given a case based question on binary file handling. They might ask a programming based question on binary file handling also, so we will see that question already in CSV case based question. I have discussed that particular question from binary file handling on case based. In this lecture I am going to discuss only the questions which are programming based. So in these type of questions they will give two functions to write. Okay, based on some data which is available. Let us see first what is binary files and how they are handled. Very simple. You people have to just remember one or two functions for that purpose, and the need why we are moving towards the binary file. So let us see the concept. There we have different type of Python object, like we have list. Okay, we have a dictionary. Okay, we have tuple, or we have some other structures also, like string. So string are handled inside text files very well, but when we go for a different object like a list or dictionary or tuple, the text files are not able to handle that. Now what is the advantage of binary files? They just store the data in raw bit streams. That is, they convert that object into a raw bit stream and store inside the memory in the form of zeros and ones, and while displaying it they reconvert the object and display it in that particular format in which we have stored that object. That process is called serialization and deserialization. So while your object written to the memory or inside the file, that is called serialization, or getting the file back from memory to your program where object is created, that process is called deserialization. Serialization, okay, and deserialization. That is also known as with other name, uh, that is called pickling and unpickling. So this is what here pickling it happened, CKLING, pickling, and unpickling, UNPICKLING. So from where this name pickle and unpickling comes, this is the module where the functions to handle the binary file has been defined. That is called pickle, PICKLE. So this module you need to remember, and these are the two functions, load and dump. Okay, so the process of writing the binary objects, any object from Python to binary file, is called serialization or pickling, or getting back that object to the Python program or reconstructing that object is called deserialization or unpickling. Let me remove this. Remember the module name is what? Pickle, where these functions are defined. Let us move to the modes. So there is only one change inside the modes. Now you need to add b into it. So rb for read, and wb for write, and ab for append. So what this b denote? B denote that we are working with the binary file, and other all things are same, like plus will add the reading capability to that mode. So here we add plus reading and writing, both can be done. In w, if you add plus reading and writing, both can be done. And if you add a plus, then appending and reading can be done. What are those two functions that we need to keep in mind while solving such type of questions? That are, first is open function itself. So we know about the open function. Open function will return a file handle to that particular file. So this is a file reference. And the next is what? Load. It is going to load the content present inside the file or construct the object. So load function does unpickling. What is does? Unpickling. Deserialization. What is say? Read the pickle representation of an object from an open file, uh, object and return the reconstituted object hierarchy specified therein. So what it reconstitute the object in its original form, like if it is list in starting, that will be reconstituted to the list. If it is dictionary while writing, then that will be reconstituted to the dictionary. So this is the job of the load function. It takes one argument, and that is what the file handle or file reference, okay, or file pointer. Next function is dump function. This is going to dump whatever object you want to write inside the binary file, and this does the job of serialization or pickling. It takes two arguments. First one is object to be written, and next one is the file handle. So write the pickled representation of the object. What does it mean by pickled representation? It converts all the object into raw bit stream. Remember, binary file does not store any formatting information inside it. It just it constructs the object into binary bit stream and saves inside the file. So write the pickle representation of the object to the open file object. Okay, so which file is opened at that particular file pointer with this fh file handle, in that particular file we are going to dump that object we want to write. So these are all functions that you need to keep in mind while solving such type of questions. So without any delay, let us move to our first question and see what is that question is. Consider the following definition of the dictionary school. So what is the record type? Dictionary. Remember that. So this is a dictionary. Write a method in Python to read the content of the file student.dat. Binary file usually have the extension .dat. Like text file will have the extension .txt, and CSV file will have the extension .csv. And the module which should be imported for CSV file is what? CSV module. For binary file, it is a pickle module. Then we need to write two functions. First one is search, next one is display. All the content in the pickled file, that is student.dat, where roll number is a key of the dictionary matching with the value 101. So display all the content in the pickled file. Which content we are going to display? Whose roll number is 1201 in display function. Search function is fine. We need to search the content from the file. Okay, so this is our school dictionary whose structure is given. So key, first key is roll number, next is name, next is marks. Let us see the code. So first we need to write the read function or search function, or all the content will be displayed. So we are going to read this content of this binary file. We have declared a function. Here we need to do what? Import. The module name is what? Pickle, P-I-C-K-L-E. Pickle module will have two functions. First one is load for reading and dump for writing. So I hope you remember this point. Import pickle, and import is the command to use to import any module inside our current program. After defining the function header, let us write or open a file statement. Open function is going to give me the file pointer or file handle or file reference which is attached to our file. So if your file is stored in memory, that is what? Student.dat. Okay, fine. So here 0101, because it is a binary file, so we need to write the mode like rb. So we got a file pointer f. Now next job is to go for the try and catch block. What try and catch block does? Any of the code written inside the try block, if it generates any error, that will be cached inside the except block. So we are using this try block so that any exception if generated by the load function will be cached inside it. Then we have a while loop, which is infinite loop. I will explain how it will terminate later, because if you make the condition true always, we must have an exception or break statement to terminate the loop. Let us write the load statement. So this is a module name pickle where load is defined. It takes one argument, that is a file handle. It is going to return the reconstituted object or deserialized object and store it into S. Okay, fine. We got the record inside S. Now our job is to print that record. Fine, we read and print that record. Then we need to handle the exception. What happens when file exhausted or all the record is read? It is load function is going to generate EOF error, end of file error, that is being cached. So as soon as that exception is generated from there, it is cached inside except, and due to the exception, this while loop is going to terminate, and here we are going to close the file pointer which we have opened. Okay, fine. So that's it about the read. Next function is what? Search. Again, the same module should be imported, so I will write import. Okay, pickle, pickle, pickle has what? Dump inside it. Next, we are going to open the file for display only. Okay, fine. Here we are going to read it because we need to compare the content. And remember, how do we compare content? We got a record here, then we are going to see this is our first key, this is our second key, this is our third key. We need to compare the roll number. So this key roll number we are going to use in our code to compare the value. Once we have opened the file and got the file handle correct, fine. Next we are going to use try catch block, where while true, the same way infinite loop we will put, and inside that infinite loop we are going to load the record from the file, and that record will be stored inside a variable called school. Now the school is of dictionary type, that I know from the question itself, and the key school will have roll number, name and marks. So let us see, if school of roll number is equal to 1201, which is says display all the content of the record which have the roll number as 102. If it matches, then what I need to do? I need to display the content. So I have displayed the content here. And if it is not matched, go to the next iteration, or next record should be read from the file. Okay, so fine. Once we have exhausted all the records, means all record are read from the file, now no more records are there, so load function is going to generate end of file exception, and end of file exception will terminate the loop and it will be cached inside the except block. Now our job remains just close the file handle which we have created. So what we will write? File dot close, and that's it about our answer. Go to the next question. Next question says a binary file student.dat has a structure of admission number, name and percentage. Write a function count record in Python that would read the content of student.dat and display the detail of those students whose percentage is above 75. Also display the number of students scoring above 75. So we need to maintain a counter also, which will tell us at the end how many student has scored more than 75 or above 75. Fine, let us write that function. So first we need to import that pickle module and write this function header def count record. It has been given in the question itself. Next job is to open a file. For what purpose? For reading only, because we need to compare the content of the file. And there you have this record structure in the form of tuple. Fine, we are not updating it. We are just trying to see what the percentage is. If it scored more than 75, then we maintain a counter. Okay, so we have opened a file in read mode, because remember, mode should be correct. If you are doing any updation, then go for the append mode. If you are not doing any updation, go for the read mode. Okay, if you are updating it only once, then you go for the write mode. Fine. So once we have created our file handle or file pointer or file reference, it takes open function takes two argument. First one is the file itself, next is what? The mode in which file should be opened. So we want our file to be opened in read mode. Fine, we have opened it. Now let's maintain a counter where we keep the record how many students have scored more than 75. Next is try catch block. Fine, try except block, sorry. And then we have a loop. Okay, while true, load function inside it, pickle dot load, we have passed the file pointer inside load, and now we have that record inside this variable called rec. In that rec, if I go for indexes, this one is 0 index, 1 or 2 index. Let us move ahead. So at second index, what I have percentage there. At percentage, if it is greater than 75, what I should do? If I have percentage greater than 75, display that record as well as increment the counter value. So here I am displaying record 0, 1, 2, because we have three values in it, so we can index over that and separate it by a tab space. What does it mean? Slash t is what? Slash t is four spaces, one tab position. So 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces will be present in between all these records. Okay, so next is what? Increment the counter by 1. Okay, I have incremented this counter. Okay, here indentation mistake is there. We need to indent it further because we want to maintain increment the counter only when this condition satisfies. Display the number of student who is scoring above 75. That is maintained by this condition only. So that should be indented ahead. Fine. We are going to perform the same thing again and again. Load the next record, check for the percentage. If it is greater than 75, display the record, increment the counter. If it is not greater than 75, go for the next record. What will happen at end? When your file will exhaust, load function will generate end of file error. Okay, end of file error. So end of file error will be generated by this load function, and then we are going to catch that inside the except block, end of file, and close our file pointer. And that's it about this question. Moving ahead to the next question, and obviously return or display the number, what how many student have scored more than 75. You can return or display it here. If you want to display, nothing you need to do, just go replace the return statement with print statement, print num. Fine. Let us move to the next question. Here we have this question: write a method recount to read the content of the binary file and display the number of record. Each name occupies 20 bytes, and in it also display the number of records where name starts with S. So you have to be little cautious about it. So what it says, each records is 20 byte long. So if I uh, have total bytes in the file, then I can just multiply it by 20 and know how many records are there. How can we know the size of the file? Inside OS module we have some functions that I am going to discuss in the code itself, which will give us what is the size of our file in bytes, because here we have what? Record size in bytes, and display the number of records where name starts with S. So inside record somewhere name should be there, and we are going to display such names which are starting with S. Okay, fine. Uh, this again read write a method read count by names dot dat, display the number of records. Okay, display the number of record where name starts with S. Fine. Let us have import OS and import pickle also. Next is read count. Now we are going to have size of the record is what? 20. Fine. Then we are going to have this get size method, os.path.get size name.dat. So get size will return the size of file in bytes, file length. And now our job is very simple. We need to divide file length by size of record, and we will get number of record, and we are going to display those number of records here. So such type of questions are less frequent, but they are being asked in previous years. So you have to just go through this OS module also. Next is what? S count. So here we are going to count the number of names which are starting with S. So S count, we are maintaining one variable where we are having a null string count which have initial value at 0 with open. This is another way of opening a file. In this particular way, if you open a file, you need not to close that file. Automatically Python does it for you. So this is a block statement with open file name. Open function will take two argument only as it is. This is a file handle here. If I want to write it in a open, how should we write? F equal to open, and then file name, that is names dot dat. Okay, fine. And next one is the mode RV, that should be enclosed inside single or double quotes. Fine. So this is the same job is done by this with open. Next is what? While s. So in starting, if you see, s does not have anything. Fine, moving ahead. Next is read 20 byte out of it. We are going to read 20 byte out of it and put inside the s. Okay, so in starting we do not take null string, at least one space should be there. After reading it, decode that one. Okay, so this decode method is used if we are reading a binary file, okay, and not utilizing the pickle module and read function we are using. Fine. Next is our job is to find out the length of s. If anything is there inside, or 20 bytes are read properly, then what we will do, we will convert that starting letter of that record 20 bytes, or because from where this 20 comes, why we are reading it in the file 20 byte by 20 byte, because we know the size of the record is what, 20 bytes. And starting, we are assuming that name is stored at the start place itself, so we are converting it into lowercase. Lower is a string function. We have indexed that s, and first index whatever value there, we are going to compare it with s. After making it in lowercase, if it is the case, increment the count value, and we do it for each record inside the file. Once file will be exhausted, what will happen? S will not have anything in it. S will not have anything in it because read is going to return none. Okay, end of file. Fine. When this happens, this while loop will terminate and we will come out of this statement. We need not to close the file handle because it is opened through with statement, which gives us the liberty to not to close, because Python does automatically it for us, and then at last we are going to display the value of the count. Okay, fine, that's it about this question. Moving ahead to the next question, give any point of difference between binary file and CSV file. Fine, this question is regarding CSV file. Write a program in Python that defines and calls the following user defined function. First one is add, to accept and add data to an employee to a CSV file. Okay, for data.csv, each record consists of a list, uh, list with field element as FID, FNAME, and FPrice. Okay, to store the furniture ID, furniture name, and furniture price respectively. Search, to display the records of the furniture whose price are more than 1000. We are dealing with the CSV file, so we need to import what? We need to import CSV module. What are the functions? Reader, writer, and read row and write. So these, sorry, not read row, that is write row function. CSV module will have those functions defined inside it. Let us define that function add. Inside add, we are going to open the CSV file. Here we have supplied a new line character into it, that is /n. By default is new line for our file. For data.csv, we are opening the file in append mode, so that we can add multiple records again and again. Next is what? We are going to write. Okay, CSV, we are going to create a writer object WR, which is used to call write row function. Fine, so we have created a writer object. So this is the second step while handling the CSV file in writing. Open the file, create a writer object. Next is what? Create your record. So what your record consists? FID, FNAME, and FPrice. So we have read FID value from the user, FNAME value, and FPrice value. After reading all of it, we are going to create a record of it, and that is in the form of list. Fine. Once we got it, now we are going to use the write row function to put that record inside the file for data.csv. After doing all this, our job is to close our file handle. So adding the record has been done completely. Now next job is to search and display furniture whose price are more than 10,000. So again we are going to define search module and open a file in read mode, because now we don't want to update anything. We are going to open a file in the read mode. New line will remain same as /n only. Now our job is to read it. So for that we need to create a writer object, reader object, sorry. So here we have created a reader object. After creating a reader object, what we need to do, this is a iteratable object. What is that? Iteratable. We have made a variable found that is equal to false, which will tell at the last that we got that value or furniture whose price is greater than 10,000 or not. Let us go for print details are and go for a loop, iterate over this reader object itself, and we know we have wrote that record where index 0 1 and 2. At second index we have what? F price. So second index int of I of 2 is greater than, I will have single record at a time while iterating over that reader object. And here we are comparing if it is greater than 10,000. What you need to do? You need to make your found variable true. Okay, fine, and display it. So we are going to display that particular record, I of 0, I of 1, I of 2. So I of 0 will display furniture ID, then furniture name, and then furniture price. Fine. When how many records that will be done? All the records which are having value more than 10,000. Fine. We have come out of the loop when this all the records exhaust. At the end of this loop, we are going to check if our found variable is false, means we have no record which where price is greater than 10,000. So we will say no record found. Otherwise, we have some. Okay. Otherwise, already displayed. No issue. So need not to go for the else part. Your doubt may come in your mind why we are not going for the else part, because if it is there, already we have checked for it, already we have seen printed those records which are greater than 10,000. If this found remains false, what does it mean? No record has been printed. That's why we are trying to print a uh, valid quote or valid answer to the user that no record has been found which has price greater than 10,000. Driver code, we are going to call these two functions. Okay, now displaying. Okay, fine, search. So this driver code means we are in the main and these two are the functions. Fine, that's it for this lecture. I hope you people are getting what I am explaining. Do like, share and subscribe. Please comment if you want any correction or if you want a video on any particular topic. Do let me know. I will try to make that one. Please do like, share and subscribe if you get a little bit benefit out of this video. Thank you very much for patient listening. Have a nice day.